got our work cut out for us. Looking again at capacity of waste disposal. There's plenty of waste disposal capacity available. Unfortunately, it's pretty far away. There's a limited amount available to us in Connecticut. It doesn't quite meet our demands, and certainly won't meet any increased demand. But each one of these blue dots represents a landfill that will take up to 1 million tons of a year of garbage. Now, we've got 3.1 in the entire state, so a 1 million ton landfill can handle a big piece of Connecticut's generation. The three here, 2 in Ohio and 1 down in Virginia, each take more than 2 million tons a year. So there are some huge regional landfills out there with plenty of space available. The problem is they are hundreds and hundreds of miles away. As you'd expect, the landfills that are closer command a much higher tip fee because they're closer to ground zero of garbage generation in the New York metropolitan area. Recycling centers are similarly geography dependent. Here, each green recycling symbol represents a regional recycling facility that can handle your recyclables. Most of them are or will be single stream capable. We have 2 facilities here on this map, geographically, strategically located to handle, we think, most towns. Once again, being geographically dependent, well, geography is an important concern in all of our decisions, perhaps even more so for recycling because we're carting around a lot of airspace in our containers and it's tough to get 20 tons on the truck. But the impact of fuel prices for both disposal of waste and diversion of recyclables is very significant. The recent pickups in diesel prices are very obvious to anybody who fills up their tank. 8% in just the last week, and probably more bad news to come. Those prices, and in this particular graph, we use $3.50 as a baseline for diesel fuel. You can see the export prices can get pretty high pretty fast. It's not that these landfills are charging more than their typical $15 a ton to dump. It's just that getting it out there by truck or by rail is a very expensive proposition. New technologies. CRRA is charged, obviously, with ensuring those options for disposal exist for the towns to consider. We recently completed a study of all the new technologies that are out there and potentially available to change how we deal with our waste. Thermal processing, gasification, that processes that generate synthetic gas to generate electricity. I hesitate to call them products, but residue that they intend to sell. Thermal processing for advanced combustion, probably more advanced than some of the other alternatives. Cleaner emissions, less residue for landfills. Advanced mechanical processing with gasification and combustion. Biogas, synthetic gas, compost amendment or soil amendments, composting as a product. All of these technologies are out there, in some cases successful in the pilot stage, but at the end of the day, none of them, frankly, merit an investment at this time. It's just not enough potential. The payback is not there. The costs are very significant. Our report available on our website can demonstrate this. The $59 number looks a lot better than it is. That's assuming that you can sell, I think that's one of the composting proposals. That's assuming you're going to sell your compost for about $15 a yard. To give you an idea of how well that works, the West Palm Beach facility has a composting unit that uses 90% of its compost as daily cover in its neighboring landfill. There's just not, it just doesn't make economic sense yet. It may someday, and when it does, we'll pursue it. But right now, there's no new technology that is standing in the wings, ready to save us from our capacity problems. Looking ahead, concluding, capacity will remain constrained. We will not add new capacity, and demand, even if flat, exceeds that capacity. CRRA, as the publicly owned alternative, essentially sets the market rate. What we set our price at the net cost of operations, tends to be more or less the target or the ceiling for private outfits. They charge much more if we weren't there, because they can, because your alternative is loading it on a truck and sending it to Ohio, which is a lot more than $60. Our firm capacity is in the $60 per ton range. There are spot prices that can go much, much lower in the winter and much, much higher in the summer. But at firm capacity, if a customer needs to get rid of so many tons a week, $60 is a pretty fair price, a pretty fair estimate of what the price here is in Connecticut. Private facilities may cost more, might even cost a little bit less. Hopefully all the you towns are out there knocking on the doors and investigating options that may work better for you than CRRA. Out-of-state capacity is plentiful. There will be outfits that will be happy to haul it out there for you. Fuel prices are volatile, and if you can find someone willing to commit to take your garbage out there without an escalator for fuel, run, don't walk to that deal. As far as opportunities go, primarily for towns, but really all our customers, there are four significant ones. One is single stream recycling. I know I sound like a broken record. If you're not doing it, you need to look at it pretty hard. If there are hurdles to your single stream recycling that we could potentially help with, if you can't find a way to get a line item on your general fund budget of $500,000 to buy large capacity totes, let us know. There are creative financing, creative opportunities we can perhaps provide you with to help get you into the single stream regime. Ultimately, the money you save is not the $5 a ton rebate that we have typically provided. It's the $69 a ton you're not paying for the garbage in the back of the truck. Pay as you throw is a very substantial potential savings for towns. It's a difficult conversion, and there are a number of former first selectmen that tried to do it. However, it is effective. Massachusetts is pushing it substantially, and they are seeing substantial reductions in waste demand, because they're just able to put a lot more in their recycling bins. Skipping now to this fourth one here, privatization, that is a shortcut to pay as you throw. When you go to if a town were to exit the garbage business and get into and release its citizens to do subscription service, that is essentially pay to throw. Private haulers will have different size options available to your customers. Large, medium, and small garbage cans that priced differently. That is pay to throw, and those folks see higher recycling rates because they're financially incentivized to minimize their garbage and maximize their recycling. And finally, organic separation and composting. This is the last big piece of the waste stream we think we can divert. And CRRA is continuing to look at a number of different projects. None of them have a lot of traction right now. A couple got close and were killed for NIMBY reasons. Frankly, as a state, we have to get over that, or we're going to be spinning our wheels forever. But at some point in time, I expect we will be moving towards separating out the organic portion of our waste. It's already being done in the commercial world. Stop and Shop, all of their produce department waste goes into a separate bin, is picked up by a private hauler and taken to a composting facility. That can happen on a commercial level, and is happening on a commercial level already. It can also happen on a residential level. And we think that's an opportunity for reducing the demand for our capacity. But there is no new technology on the horizon that's going to change the essence of the business. We're going to continue to make garbage, and we're not going to build any new capacity. The outlook for disposal pricing, I think it's essentially flat. If MSW generation rebounds slowly, as we expect it will, if the economy booms back, the garbage will likely come back with it, and then you will probably see some significant increases in pricing, and that will be because the peak capacity, the last ton out, typically goes to Ohio, and it goes out there at a significant price. But I think for what it's worth, our professional opinion is there's not a lot of upward pressure on pricing for garbage because, frankly, the economy is not demanding that capacity be there.